Okay, what are we gonna do here? What we're gonna do is add some. We're gonna keep working on our terrain. We're gonna add some trees to the terrain, and just like with textures, where we had some textures to pick from, if we add trees to the terrain, basically they're gonna be three-dimensional trees. We're not painting them on. We're actually gonna have three-dimensional trees we're gonna add. So I'm gonna click Edit Trees, Add Tree, and it's telling me to pick a tree prefab. I don't have any yet. So what do you know? I'm gonna have to go to the internet. The only thing, this tree prefab is a special 3D object that Unity uses. So instead of going to Google, I'm just gonna go to the asset store. And in case your asset store window isn't showing, remember, if you want to find the window, you go to Windows, Asset Store, and that should bring up the window. Now, the asset store is literally a store for things that you could use in Unity, like 3D objects, sound, everything. And right now, I'm looking for some trees in 3D. And then I'll just press search. And here we come with some packs. Some things cost money, which are probably like, better assets. And some things are free. I'm going with the free. Also, things that you download could be very big in size or small. Now, I just want something that's not too big, like for a download. I just really want one or two trees. And here we could see we have some trees. These say snowy, low polygon trees. If something's a low polygon count, that's great because then it'll draw faster in our game. Here goes a mobile tree package. This is going to be good. If something says mobile, that means it's going to be a good asset to use. It doesn't take up a lot of memory. And you know what? I like those. They look pretty good. Here's some sample pictures of them, right? And how big is it? It's only 3.2 megabytes. So from the store, now that I found what I want here, I'm going to press the import button. And here it shows me everything that's in the package. Okay. And the top of the package is called what? Layer tree package? Laxer tree package? I just got to press import. It's importing the package to my project. And because it's only 3.2 megs also, it happens nice and fast. And there it is, Laxer tree package. That's what I downloaded. And now if you're wondering where the trees are in here, you probably should look here in the models. And if there's anything with a little blue icon like this, let's go back to our scene window so we can see a tree. A blue icon, that's a prefab. But then there's this other folder here called mobile. Here's some prefabs also. If I click on one, you can see it display in the inspector window the properties of this prefab. And you see a picture of the tree right there, which it's kind of small, but it depends on the size of your screen, or I could just make this bigger. See that tree? And then there's another tree kind, and another. I got three kinds of trees here. This is great. I'm going to use these on my terrain. All right. So, um, scene window, and in the hierarchy window, click the terrain again. And here in the inspector, we didn't have any trees defined yet. So let's define some trees. Let's add some trees, right? It's looking for a tree prefab. We just downloaded some. And now look, you see, I have the display here of some trees. And the question is which one do I pick? There's this guy. I want to pick a prefab. So I have 0. At these with the mobile. I'm trying to pick the mobile ones because they draw faster. And I'm gonna add that tree. And then I could add more than one kind of tree. I'm going to add another one since I downloaded 3. That was ID Mobile 0, ID Mobile 1. Okay, I'm going to add 2 trees there. And let me get the third one that they have. This is the one that looks like a pine tree. ID Mobile 2. Okay. There, remember, it's the icons that look like a cube that are prefabs that we want to use. Now, as you notice, just like when we had painting, we have a brush that we could use to paint with. And this time it's just basically a sphere brush on the terrain. Let me zoom out with my mouse wheel. It's a sphere thing on the terrain. And there's no different types of brushes, but I could control the size of that with this. And over here is the settings for when it's going to draw this tree I have selected. So let me just select the first one. I'm going to say the brush size is 20. And I'm going to say the tree density, that's kind of like how many trees it's going to draw when I click on the mouse, is 83, almost at the top. And the tree height is random, so they don't all look like they're just the same thing. The color variation is 0.04, so they're not all the same color. So here I could make sure the height is a little different. You know, I could make this wider if I want the tree sizes to be really, really different. And I think I'll just make it a little bigger. And the color variation, so they're not all the same color. And now with this brush, if I kind of start pressing on it, it starts popping in some trees. Okay. And I picked another tree, and same thing, draw with those trees instead. And I'm kind of making a forest here. And I could do it manually. I could go around drawing trees manually like this. Or there's this button here called Mass Place Trees, which will let me just draw a whole bunch of trees randomly at once. Keep existing trees. I'm going to say no. Any trees that are on the scene, I'm going to eliminate those trees I drew. And I'm going to let it just go ahead and draw, what's this default number, 10,000? Okay, and let's see what happens when I press place. Boom! Woo! It's a vivid, deep forest of trees. And if that's too dark a forest for me, I want it to be a little bit lighter, well, I could just do mass place trees again. And I want to erase the trees that are there and start over. And instead of 10,000, maybe I want a little less trees. I'm going to say, I know, my eggs are ready. Okay. My eggs are ready that I was making for lunch. Anyway, instead of 10,000, let me say 1,000 trees and see how that looks. Place. Mm-hmm. And there you go. That's not, those are less trees. So what do you think, guys? I'm going to leave it at 1,000. Now, the more trees you have, it's kind of take more computing power to work the game out. But you'll be able to tell if you're stressing out your computer because it'll get real choppy. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at 1,000 trees.